I put my iron hours in CSGO before Valorant even came out. But I've been new and or bad at enough things to have a general strategy for it. This has definitely been a requested video as far as getting out of iron or bronze goes, but it's also a very valuable strategy for high level players to know so they can consistently win easy games. Hello everyone, my name is Atchax and this is the Overload strategy in Valorant. Make sure to subscribe if you want to be the first to see more content designed to help you rank up just like this. Let's get right into it. The Overload strategy has three main components: pressure, initiative, and attitude. Let's start with pressure. Pressure is one of those invisible forces in Valorant that governs gameplay. Essentially, pressure is the perceived ability to do something. The purpose of applying pressure is to prompt your opponent to make a mistake. Pressure includes things like throwing a nade backside, dropping smokes, or spamming a wall. One of the easiest and longer lasting forms of pressure is positional pressure. If you are on attack and you are standing right outside of the site, you have the perceived ability to jump out on site at any moment, and that's very likely to draw a reaction, such as an over-rotation. There are two main ways to apply pressure that I know of and find effective. The first is to apply pressure quickly and suddenly. The goal would be to generate a knee-jerk reaction from the opponent. This would be something like double peeking the same spot at once. Some players will panic and make the mistake of crouching, at which point you should find an easy frag. The other form is looming pressure. This is more long-term and features a more perpetual threat of immediate consequence. Looming pressure would include positional pressure, but also include something like the agent Omen, who could teleport somewhere strange throughout the game. Looming pressure is very distracting. It's easier to fight someone who is distracted than someone who is focused. It also prompts people to take precautions, look away, and potentially defend possibilities that don't exist. These all create excellent opportunities where you can make something happen. In Iron and Bronze, players make a lot of mistakes all the time, so drawing them out isn't difficult at all. Predicting what they are going to do is pretty difficult though, so I consider prioritizing the quick application of pressure to try to force a mechanical error for an easy frag. Use looming pressure once you figured out the other team's reactions, enough to draw out specific mistakes. As you move up, consider using looming pressure to create false threats to force positional errors like over-rotations or under-rotations so that you can have easier fights or make opponents burn through utility. Initiative is the second main component of Overload. Initiative simply means making actions first. The goal of initiative is to force opponents to play a reactive style. Taking initiative allows you to play to your strengths and frequently denies opponents the ability to play to theirs. I think that this right here is one of the biggest reasons players get trapped in Iron and Bronze. Even though they are more skillful than some of those who rank up earlier, they constantly play reactively to the few strengths of their opponents instead of their own. It's like if you're really good at wrestling, but your opponent somehow convinces you to play table tennis against them. In competition, you should be trying to find ways to do things that you're good at. Initiative should not be confused for aggression or for risk. On defense, you can use utility like scan darts, raise nades, and sage walls to force opponents to react. Something as simple as throwing a molly into an entranceway can throw a wrench in the opponent's plans, as they have to quickly decide whether to wait, run through it, or rotate. Or if you know that the opponent doesn't like to commit until they get a pick somewhere, not taking any fights at all until they commit could be considered taking initiative. The bottom line is that applying pressure prompts opponents to make mistakes, and initiative puts you in a situation to capitalize, while both distract them from capitalizing on your mistakes. The last component is attitude. How you think about something affects how you do it. Having the proper attitude of confidence is very important, especially if someone is trying to use a similar strategy on you. You can definitely see this in sports. When two people are advancing on one another, it's the more assertive one who takes control. The other will tend to naturally stop advancing and start playing defense. I've witnessed this interaction thousands of times. When you are going for the overload strategy, your mentality should be some combination of confident and assertive, while also being calm and ready to pounce when you see an opportunity. You have to play your game. A lot of people unconsciously slow down to match their opponent's speed. Play at your speed. It's important to understand the idea that this is based in so you can maximize Overload's effectiveness. Essentially, the general concept is that as the skill level increases, the flawlessness, quote unquote, required to perform well increases too. At the lower end, the mentality is more do something good, while at the higher end, the mentality is more don't make an error. That's part of why you can have a superstar carry to win in Bronze 3, but the pros need more than just one superstar, and in fact, the skill level is so much closer to the ceiling that the gap between great players and everyone else is less. Overload allows you to be that superstar carry when the overall skill is lower because your strengths and the opponent's strengths have less overlap, combined with the idea that more people will be less skilled and at less things. This is definitely a great way to win until the skill level is at a point where you and your opponents are on more even footing and other skills you may have, such as complex strategy, become more relevant. At its heart, the fundamental concept of overload is play to your strengths. Pressure, initiative, and attitude come together to form a powerful and assertive strategy that constantly forces your opponents onto their back foot while you do what you do best. I hope this helped you out. Good luck with the easy wins, and don't forget to subscribe. Have a lovely day, everyone, and I will see you next time.